All right, so testing a new thing today. This is a sped up version of me, or sped up video of me coloring this fox here from Wildwood Soiree by Annie Stegg Gerard. And yeah, see, and this is a voiceover then, obviously. So I'm going to be diluting markers with water here. And first I'm starting up, swatching up the colors I want to use again. I haven't checked up a reference for a fox yet, or I still haven't. I've no idea where the white parts of the fox actually are going into this. That's probably something I would recommend you actually check up. But so yeah, you can see me just applying the marker now, just really scribbly and not really caring. Or trying to put darker where shadows are and lighter where they are not, but not really paying too much attention to being delicate. You see, I'm also using the fat nib instead of the thin nib of those markers that I have. And now I'm using a water brush to just dilute it together. And this paper is just so good for this. It really depends on the paper how well this technique works. And I can tell you that in Wildwood Soiree, this book, at least in my edition, and in the book by, I'm blanking on her name now, Mermaids and Friends by Mystic Art Mirrors, and in Ulla Tunnel's Little Tiny Black Fox. Those three books work really well for me. But yeah, so now I'm just going in with blue in the background. And yeah, this is going to be a chatty video again. Sometime in the future I hope to make more tutorial-like videos in this style, but I haven't felt like that for this one, so I'm just going with what I feel like. But yeah, so blue, and now I'm going in with some green in some places. You'll see I layer a lot. In this technique, just let it dry in between and then go in with a new layer. And the background, I think, will be especially done over a few times because I wasn't that happy with this blue. Yeah, what's happening otherwise? I've been journaling a lot. I have started journaling as in scrapbooking, I guess, or, I bought a really small little journal that's like 10 centimeters high and 5 centimeters long. So it's like a really small little journal that I'm just gluing in the small bits of paper that I get over, or small scraps of washi tape and stuff. So I've been doing that a lot, and not really the coloring that much this month yet, but I'll get to it maybe. I've been filming a lot also and editing. That takes more time than I thought. Or I knew it would take time, but it's fun also, so that's all right. I've been organizing my washi tapes, going from rolls to, when you buy washi tapes, you usually get them in rolls, but I've been transferring them to tags. So if you have a tag and you roll the washi tape around it, it can lay flat better and it's easier to store. So that's what I've been doing a lot also. Spent the whole evening yesterday. Went on a trip yesterday as well. We went to a place kind of near us that's geologically interesting, since apparently it's where the glaciers, it's one of the moraines, I think it's moraine in English, I have no idea, but where the glacier, pushed the whole lot of rocks and stuff in front of it and made it into a hill sort of. And on that hill, apparently the Vikings decided, or not the Vikings, the Stone Age people decided that they really wanted to have a graveyard. So it's a lot of, it was a really interesting place with a lot of, raised stones in, not like Stonehenge, but still. Oh, and by the way, here you can see, you see the water glistening there? Where I noticed I applied too much water and I could have dabbed it, but instead, since it's one-sided, I just put the page in between and let it bleed through. You'll see in the end I show how much it bled or didn't bleed. It wasn't a lot, so that's, nice. But yeah, went in with pink there also. I've been trying to, I've written down a list of parks or, trips I wanted to go to, and slowly making our way through it. Like trips close to home, since there hasn't been that much traveling due to the pandemic, and yeah. So I've been visiting parks in the near area. It's kind of fun. We have a car. We got it last year, so we can go a bit further out, but like not more than 1 hour. Because that's, to make it just a short trip. It was me, my sambo, and then my brother and his girlfriend. We went on a trip. It was nice. The weather is kind of bleary, when at least the days are starting to get lighter now, which is nice, but it's this, gray, the gray time before spring sets in Sweden is really, I love the color gray and I like mist, but there's something about this that's quite, yeah, not depressing, but also not really cheering. So, especially not in the city. Like outside in nature, I can take it with, the different browns and the grays. I like that. But in the city, when it's just gray on gray, But yeah, as you can see, I'm just diluting crazily. What do people talk about in voiceovers? I should have a theme or something. Maybe, I've started doing videos for I have a plan. I have a plan. So in the end of January, I'll hopefully put up my first plan with me video. And it's going to be a plan with me in my coloring journal. So, but for that, I want to because each month I want to have a to be colored list, but I don't color everything that's on my to be colored list. But in that list, at least, I want to have one Forever Whip, one of my neglected books, and one of my Coloring Hoard books. And so I wanted to film a video of each of those, so you can sort of see what I'm choosing from. If you're interested in that, or even if you're not, there's going to be a video about it anyway. So I have filmed 2 of those, the Hoard and the neglected ones, but not the Forever Whips. I'm thinking of, because that's I have a lot of Forever Whips. Let's see, I'll just open my journal here and check. I think I have there's a lot of them. Flipping. Let's see. Should be somewhere, right? Books of the season, neglected books, books to finish, color nameplates, checklist challenge. Come on. Now I can't find it. But there's a lot of them anyway, maybe 80 or, so that's a lot of books to show. So I'm not sure if I want to do that or not. Oh, now I'm going in with a bit more details there. I do go in with polychromos in the eyes later on, but I don't do polychromos on anything else. And you can see there the fox's cheek. It's so chubby. I think I went in after the video was filmed, and I'll put in a picture at the end. But the part of her cheek that's furthest to the left, I darkened that up, because right now she looks a bit like a hamster. She has this really chubby little cheek, because it's that the white goes a bit too far out, I think. But that's the problem with not looking up a reference. And I also, in with the Wildwood Soiree, you also get this wonderful prints of the finished colored version that the artist did. And I actually use those in my, here now I'm using the polychromos. What was I saying? Oh, I took them out of the book and I used them in my bullet journal. So not my coloring journal, but my actual bullet journal. So yeah. So I don't really, because that's actually something that intimidates me a lot. The books where the artist version is next to the version you're supposed to color. I haven't bought a single book like that because even just seeing it in the flip through intimidates me. Or not intimidate. Yeah, it puts me off because I don't want to try to mimic someone. I totally realize that you can learn a lot by doing that, and I guess it's a great idea if you want to learn, but I don't color to learn. It's more of a coincidence that I learn stuff on the way. So yeah, those books intimidate me. I think this is where yeah, okay, so now I'm going in over the sky with a gray marker, and I'm not going to dilute that. I just wanted to dampen down the colors a bit because I don't know, it just felt like it. So I'm just going over everything, even the stains and everything, with a gray marker now in the sky. And sort of dampening it down. Yeah. I mean, there's not that much to this technique, right? I don't really know what to say more than I use the markers in the same way you would use pencils that you dilute with water. So you just apply them directly to the page, and then I just dilute it. Oh, and I went over the grass over here as well, so not just the sky, but the grass in the background as well. And I think that made the fox stand out a bit more, right? Maybe. But yeah, so just apply them directly to the paper and then dilute with water. And with the water brush I usually use. Then let it dry, and if you want to apply a new layer, you can do that by applying the marker on top again, or you can scribble with a marker on a piece of plastic and transfer it to the page. That's also working, of course. And yeah, there's really not that much to it. It just really depends on the paper if it works or not. You can use it in paper that's not that good as well. So like in my create space paper, you can use it. I've used it in my Kala Magania books. And I think one of the ones that inspired me to try this is Kala Magania. There's probably, or I'm sure there were others who do it as well. So, I mean, it's hard to copyright an art technique. But yeah, you can use it with that as well, but it's a bit harder. And yeah, I know I go in with a gel pen on top, a golden gel pen on top of some of the things later on the details, and I'll probably show you that. I don't really, right now I'm probably just trying to darken things up. That's a thing, that's a trick or something that I learned on the way, that when I feel like stuff aren't, like right now you see I'm going with it really dark and just applying a little bits in the corners of stuff, and it makes it's a bit scary because you're like erasing some of the line art, but I really appreciate how that makes it pop a bit more, you know, just adding contrast to stuff. And the best markers for this are the Crayola Super Tips, although I haven't tried those, but I think the ones I have here that look like Crayola Super Tips, they are the Fibra Color 100 Colori Diversi. And as far as I can tell, they're sort of the same as the Crayola Super Tips, like all the reviews and everything I've seen, and even the color range, and the fact that they come with 100 different colors. I think they're the same markers, just with a different brand. Not sure about this. don't sue me. Yeah. And you can also see maybe that I'm using the same marker, the same blue here, both in the background stuff and in the clothing. So I'm trying to tie the same color into different elements. And the fact that there are still different color combos going on make the color let's see how to explain this. So the same pigment used, for example, if I use the blue on her dress that's already a light blue, will have a different character to it than using the same pigment blue in the background where there are like orange leaves. The blue in the end will behave differently, but since it's still the same pigment, the eye sort of feels like it's more cohesive, maybe. I have no idea. I have never studied color theory, or okay, sure, maybe a bit in the things you learn in secondary school, I guess, in Slovenian secondary school, but not more than that. So yeah. So I have no idea what I'm saying actually, but yeah, it's just stuff I've sort of picked up, I guess. Another thing I hope to catch when it happens is when the layer is dry, you can add drops of water on top of it to make, and also like have a cloth so you can dab up excess water, or make things lighter with it. So pick up pigment as you would do with watercolor. But yeah, I mean, it's just there's not much to this technique. But it's really fun. I recommend it, especially if you have the books with the paper that allow it. And I think I've shown you in a different video also, like how to see if the paper is good for this technique or not. It's just scribble a bit on a page where you can test it out, and then try diluting it with water. And if it dilutes well, then it's good paper. It's as if you would, the same thing as you would try with like water-soluble pencils. You want to check if the marks are, if the water dilutes the marks so they aren't visible in the end. So the same thing applies to checking if the marker, diluting marker with water works on this technique or not. So I think there was a bit of a pause there. Yeah, okay, because I left it to dry before applying the gel pen. Now I'm going in with the golden gel pen and just making some dots in decorations, and yeah. I bought quite a few books in December, like maybe 14 books. That's a lot. But I have already colored in like 3 of them. So there are just a few of them are on my Color You Hoard list now. Or not a few, there are 10, but still. Yeah, I bought that for in December, and I bought myself the Derwent pastel pencils, and I finally bought the 120 set of polychromos. I had the 48 set, and then I had bought some of the colors, so I had like maybe, no, not 48, what's the 72 set? Okay, 72 set, and I had bought some separate colors, so maybe I had like 85 pencils, polychromos. But I mean, I use them so much, and it was time to replace the ones that had gotten short again. And I was just like, and it was Christmas, and I've gotten my first real pay, so I went all out instead. And I'm so happy I did, because now I mean, they're so pretty. And I've already used them quite a lot. Like a few of them are already looking a bit, not short, but shorter. So, I mean, it's a worth buy. It really is. I use them so much. And the Derwent Pastel I've been wanting to have for a long time, because they're nice on the create space paper books to use as a base. And I have quite a few books that have that paper that I want to use more. So I was hoping I would do that. Oh, and now I'm just, you saw the pattern in the clothing. I added some, I just went over that pattern without diluting it. So that's also a tip, but kind of obvious one. But that you can, of course, use the marker directly also. You don't need to dilute everything. And yeah, adding some into the hat now as well. I don't remember how much there's. Oh, we're about halfway. No, a bit more. But yeah. Let's see if I will go in with the doing the. No, okay, still darkening things up. That's the main. Oh, that's Sergey. What did you do? Oh no, he carried in his little toy into the. We're doing the. What's it called? We are washing our clothes now, but we live in an apartment where you have to go down into the cellar to do the washing. All the washing machines are there, and you just sort of book your time. So now our basket where we keep the dirty clothes is empty, and Sergey is using it to terrorize his little plushy mouse and having a lot of fun apparently. Huh? Or now he left it in there. God knows, the cat. He's so much fun. Like, want to hear a Sergey story? You're going to hear a Sergey story now. So in this summer, this summer, it was really warm in July. Like it was going up to 30 degrees in Gothenburg, which is, I mean, it's one thing when it's 30 degrees in Slovenia, like in the Mediterranean, because everyone is sort of prepared for that. So there's air condition, and even at the time where there wasn't air condition, the houses are built of stone. So, you know, you just keep it closed during the day and then open it up during the night, and it gets, you know, an okay temperature. But here in Sweden, the houses are built in wood, and there's not a lot of air conditioning because there's usually no need for it. And it becomes like a sauna inside. It's horrible. But yeah, okay, so it was really warm in July. And it was like my sambo's first day off work, and I still didn't have a job. I was still in between, or like, you know, after studies. I was just finishing my master's thesis, and we wake up by, you know, this crash, boom, bang. And apparently Sergey had like, because we have shelves where he can climb up, so he can, you know, climb around in the apartment, since he's an indoor cat and needs stimulus in that way. But apparently he had fallen off one of them, and he had tried to catch himself by, you know, trying to use his claws to catch himself. And after, like, okay, we like checked and he was all right, no problem. But then after a while we noticed, okay, he's not really, there's a bit of blood on one of his paws, and it's not looking that nice. So Victor checked, and he was like, oh, his claw, he broke his claw. And I was like, okay, you know, because I've had outdoor cats my whole childhood, and they take care of themselves, sort of, and you don't go to the vet for a broken claw. You go to the vet when the cat is really sick and ill, you know, or like starts hiding or stuff. And usually, I mean, they take care of themselves. But this indoor cat that we have right now, like Sergey, he's such a, I don't know how he would ever survive outside. He's probably been spoiled his whole life. We got him when he was 1 year old, so it's not totally our fault, but I mean, this is just ridiculous. But okay, I was like, anyway, yeah, okay, so it's a broken claw, whatever. We'll just, keep it clean, see if he's all right, and then if he gets worse, of course, we'll go to the vet, or if it gets infected or something. But Victor, my Sambo, was like, no, I'm worrying about this. So he took him to the vet anyway, the day after. And, and I was like, okay, whatever, if it calms you down, then of course do it. And he takes the cat to the vet in the morning. And then he comes home and says, okay, I had to leave him there. And then 6 hours later, he comes back, and Sergei is drugged out of his mind. His pupils are like, the size of saucers, and he's like, totally, salivating and stuff. Apparently, they had to be supposedly because it was so warm, and because this immune has some messed up immune system. It supposedly got infected during, in the time of 1 day, and they had to, and the claw had, broken all the way up. And sorry for the gory details now, skip forward if you don't like that, but it had broken all the way up, which meant that they had to take off the actual hard claw around, so the pulpa, I think it's called, inside was the nerve was just dangling outside, like a piece of raw chicken on the poor cat's paw. And I mean, and okay, so we got the instructions that said, okay, the cat should wear a sock. Like, what? Have you ever tried putting a sock on a cat? 1. 2. Have you ever tried to keep the sock on the cat when the cat doesn't want to have a sock on? 3. Just, what the fuck? If the vets decide that, okay, this paw should be covered up in something like a sock or whatever, shouldn't the vet then had put on the sock or whatever it was? But okay, no, we just got the instructions that said the cat should wear a sock. Okay, tried putting on a sock on the cat. It didn't work, of course. It just slides down, and the cat goes, it shakes his paw, and it just flies. And then we tried tying it with tying it around his whole body. Like he was a war veteran, and that didn't really work anyway. But then I thought of, just the drama. But we did in the end sort of get him to keep a sock on for the most of the time. It was mostly like when he went in his litter box that you would want to have it covered up or washed. And also, since it was so warm, everything was like, Oh, sorry for just jumping in, but I missed that probably in the video. But another good thing with this technique is if you make a mistake, you can handle it in the same way as you do when you make a mistake with watercolors. So you just wet down the area and then lift it up, lift the pigment from the paper. I think I went outside the lines of the frame sometime and did that technique. And but what I'm doing now is just coloring the frame in this dark brown. And I'm not going to dilute that, but yeah. But yeah, so the sock drama, and we, had to shower his paw every now and then. I was just, the drama. And especially for my Sambo, it was like, okay, I'm finally having a bit of free time. I'm, on my summer holidays, and then the cat does this. But it was all right. It grew back, and he's totally fine. He was totally fine also, didn't have any problems with anything. Oh, but another thing. So he was supposed to be on painkillers and antibiotica under that time. And have you ever tried giving a cat a pill? It's not that easy. Because if you try, the cats I've had before, We've tried hiding it in the food, and they would just, sort it out. Even if you put it into really small pieces, the cat just wouldn't eat the food. And then if you try to you can force it down their throat, but that's a whole war to try to do that, with all the claws and the teeth just flying around and the cat being totally stressed. No fun. So I went and bought the pills, and I was like, oh, and first up, the pills, they didn't have the pills anywhere because of the pandemic, something. I don't know. So I had to check 3 different places, and then I finally got them. And I was ready for war. I was like, okay, yeah, let's let's try to just that. And I had a plan of how to grab him, how to everything. And I was like, okay, let me just first try just showing him the pills. And I showed the pills, and Sergey was like, just ate them up. It was such a what? I was ready to have a 30 minutes drama to try to get the cat to eat the pills, and then he was just like, yeah, just totally swallowed them whole, not a problem in the world. As I said, this cat doesn't have any survival instincts, just any. And he's got this autoimmune disease as well, so he wouldn't survive in the wild for 5 seconds. He has to eat this allergenic food and stuff. Oh, God. Unbelievable. Yeah. So right now I'm just touching up stuff. Oh no, okay, now I'm finally putting in the water drops, I think. Hopefully, I don't know if you'll get to see them, but there's just water drops in, I think, all over the place, or especially in the bushes and on her clothing. I put in some more water drops, and then I left that to dry. And some of them I dabbed off with a cloth. And now I'm also putting in watered down areas in the hat. So some of the areas I wanted to be a bit whiter. So that's what I'm trying to do now, just adding in, or is that blue? I don't know. Yeah, it seems like I'm adding a bit of blue right now, right? But later on, I will go in and water down some areas that I want to be a bit whiter. And she still has this chubby cheek. I do fix that, I know, later on. I promise. But yeah, kind of like the colors here, right? I think I do. This dirty pink, a bit of blue, gray, and orange. Maybe I should have done the book she's holding and the pen she's holding in a different color. Or then again, maybe not. What would it even be? No, I think that this brown color is probably the best I could do. Oh, and now we're... Okay, filming the last touches, maybe? Oh, no idea what I'm doing now. Okay, now I'm putting in the highlights, I think. Yeah. So you see, I'm just... what you can't see is that I'm pressing the water brush quite a bit so that it puts out water. And just creating highlights. I really like this designs in this little book. I have been eyeing a book that's really, for me, looks quite similar to this one. It's called The Adventurers or something. And it's on my want to buy list. But it's expensive and from Etsy. So, yeah. I mean, this one was quite expensive as well. And it's smaller than I thought when I looked at flip-throughs of the Moonlit Whale and these are small size books. The one that's over here. It's quite it's the same size as the Rita Berman books. But yeah, I've been eyeing that. It's the same anthropomorphic animals doing stuff as this one. A bit different line art style, of course. But I'm not sure if I want to spend that money on that. Maybe now that I actually have money. It's so different to go from, a student budget to an engineering budget. So yeah. And let's see, yeah. Now I think I'm going to go in and pick up the water from the hat. So you can see there, it leaves highlights on the watered down areas. I really like how this turned out in the end, I think. Even though I still haven't fixed the chubby cheek in the video. I will soon. And I still don't really know where foxes have their white spots also, because they have like a white spot under their neck, right? And probably in their faces as well. It's the same issue I had when I colored the tiger for the first time. I was like, I know they have white spots somewhere on their faces, but where? And then I checked the reference, which I didn't do here, which is the problem. If I had checked the reference, it would be better. Like, yeah, you can't have enough references. Let's see. Is that it? Oh no, I'm checking the bleed through. You can see there's some shadowing, but not enough to be really worried, in my opinion. And yeah. So I'll probably show you the gel pen now. Yeah, all that glittery niceness. I quite like how it turned out. And then later on I fixed the chubby cheek. There we go, a bit fixed. Still, could probably still be darker, but hey. So yeah, that's that for this video. See you in the next one.